welcome to this episode of Happy Hobbit. So today Kili is returning from the Shire from visiting a dear friend, and I wanted to make her something special, something that she'd really like, which is something chocolatey, because Kili loves chocolate. And who doesn't love chocolate? And who else loves chocolates is hobbits, because they can grow it in really warm parts of the Shire, and it's just an amazing dessert. So I went to Bilbo to get a really good recipe, because Bilbo's the man, he's got everything. So I asked him, and he gave me a recipe that has been handed down in the Baggins family for thousands of years, since like the hobbits were dinosaurs. Yeah. And the recipe he gave me, it's called Bilbo's Brownie Bites. Now, apparently this is something that he used to give to baby Frodo when Frodo was a little wee hobbitling, and Frodo loves, here, dragon starting up outside. And Frodo loved these because they were something that he could eat, without choking and dying on too big of a piece of brownie. And, for us big hobbits, not tweens, or even us elves or orcs, they're nice little bite-sized bites, can maybe kind of satisfy you without eating a ton, or maybe they just allow you to fit more in your mouth and just eat half the pan in one bite. But anyways, Bilbo gave me this recipe. I think it's going to be amazing. Bilbo has very good taste. So, I will show you what we will need for this, and we'll get started. So this recipe, like many brownie recipes, is very simple, and that's something that hobbits love, is simplicity. And brownies are kind of the most simple dessert you can make. So, here we go. You will need a 9 by 13 inches. Yes, that is inches. Ladies, gentlemen, hobbits, elves, dwarves, orcs, humans, Urkai, Ents. 9 by 13. Greased with a parchment paper put down on it. Then 2 sticks of salted butter, not unsalted. 5 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. Here I use some Ghirardelli. I got this in Brie, highly recommended. Looks pretty tasty. Then a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Now, I'm not sure if you didn't have like a chocolate bar, like a hard chocolate, if you could substitute it for the cocoa powder. I feel like you could if you weighed it properly, but you're supposed to use 2 different types. So besides that, you'll need 2 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of delicious vanilla extract, 3 large eggs that any hobbit, I'm sure, will be willing to share with you, because who doesn't always have an overflow of eggs when you have a lot of chickens? 1 1/4 cup of flour. Then 4 ounces of chopped semi-sweet chocolate that is not on display yet, because that is a topping that I will reveal later. And a couple other ingredients that I'll also reveal later. But all that you see here is what you will need to make the first part, which is the brownie itself. Then you will preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and I will show you how to get all this ready to go in Smaug's mouth and cook out to be something delicious. Yeah. So the first step is to take your delicious butter and delicious chocolate that actually isn't really delicious yet because it's unsweetened, but still, and put it over low heat and just slowly let it melt together. Don't use your hands like I'm doing. Be a normal person and get a spatula, and probably break this up a little more than I did as well, so that when it fits in the pan it actually fits. Basically what we're going to do is melt all this together, whisk it together till it's very smooth, and then slowly add a couple other ingredients. And this sounds complicated, but essentially to make brownies, all you do is mix together a bunch of different things over the stove in one pot and then cook it. So that's about as easy as it can get. So you can see it's getting a lot more melted here. Basically you want it melted and completely smooth together, and I'll be whisking it once this butter gets more melted. Hashtag melted butter happy hobbit. But it's actually getting melted properly over a flame. So it's starting to get there. And I hope it starts getting there faster, because it's 11:30 and we have to pick up Kili pretty soon. So These better be ready for when she gets home, or else she might kill me. I mean, probably not, but you never know. So as you can see, the chocolate and the butter is melted together very nicely. So our next step, if I can get this to balance and do this all with one hand, is to put the cocoa powder in. And then we're gonna whisk that until it is nice and smooth. Then allow it to cool for about 5 minutes before adding in the rest of the ingredients like the sugar and the eggs. Your sugar and your vanilla. That's about a tablespoon. And you're gonna whisk that together. Oh my. Yeah. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this work. So I've still got flour to put in. Do you have something to say about this recipe? Is that how you think they're gonna taste? See, even wargs want these. Even though chocolate's poison to wargs, they still want it. That's how good it is. It's kind of like the ring. You know it's poisonous, but you still want it. You're not impressed. Whoa. So, as you can see, I had to do a little bit of adjusting. The medium saucepan I chose was clearly not actually a medium saucepan, was a small saucepan. So, since everything had cooled, I decided it was fine to just transfer it into a bowl to mix in the rest of the ingredients. What we were supposed to do is just do it all in one bowl, one saucepan, so it's easier. So you have to transfer it like I did. But anyways, put in the eggs one at a time. You're supposed to do one at a time. I did not do that. But you don't have to be a rebel like me. I'm sure it does something important to the batter. So I will need a whisk, I believe. After we whisk these babies together, we will be adding in the flour very slowly. And once that is just combined, we will pour the batter into the prepared 9x13 pan and cook it. Once it's done, we'll be ready for our next step. Over here, my beautiful arrangement of dirty dishes on top of pans. We will take the flour and, yeah, we're gonna wanna just combine this so that you don't overmix it. Just some nice little folds here. Or if you're impatient like me, they turn into big folds and just kind of all blend together a little too quickly. But I'll try to be patient. So I have transferred this beautiful batter into this 9x13 pan. Throw on some chocolate chips as well, even though Bilbo didn't say to do that, but I did. Then we are going to put it in the oven for probably about 15 minutes. Bilbo kind of forgot to tell me that part about how long it's supposed to be in the oven. That's about how long brownies usually take to cook. So we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'll let you know. And just kind of keep an eye on them. Yeah, so, yeah.
Here we go. Into the mouth. Bye.
15 minutes. And we'll see what happens. So you might be able to even hear the bubbling, sizzling beauty of these brownies. So I ended up needing to cook them for 20 minutes, even though Bilbo didn't tell me a time. Like I said, I tried 15, they were still pretty liquidy, so I did 20, and they're still very moist, but I put in a toothpick and it came out clean, and that's pretty good. And for brownies, you want them fudgier and moister anyway, because they taste so much better. So I think these will be fine. I don't think we'll die from them being raw, and if they do, or if we do, I'll let you know. So what we're gonna do next is just let this cool completely, or mostly, and then cut them up into bite-sized pieces. And then once basically everything's cooled and they're cut up, we're gonna transfer them to a baking rack, and then comes the finale topping, which is yet to be revealed. As you can see here, the beautiful Bilbo brownie bites are all cut up, and I took them out of the tray, and I did all of this after they were cooled for a while. And then you put them on some sort of cooling rack, and the way this is gonna help is, because when we pour the, I guess I'll reveal it now, it's a chocolate ganache topping. Once we pour that over it, we'll need something, have it drain through and to be caught on something. So what I just did is, yeah, I put the brownies on top of a cooling rack above a pan, a cookie pan. So now that you see that, you can also see the half a cup of heavy cream in here. And all we're gonna do with this, and this is to make the ganache, all we're gonna do with this is, if this will actually light, we're just gonna cook this for 2 to 3 minutes until the edges start to bubble, which Bilbo claims 2 to 3 minutes, so we'll see if he's right about that. And I guess I was right about the cooking time. It was about 20 minutes. I think I already said that. So yeah, wait for this to get bubbly, then we'll take it out, pour it immediately into the chocolate, mix it together, pour it over the brownies, and we'll be done. So this is basically on low, and that's been enough for it to heat up, and it's kind of doing more than the edges bubbling. So we're gonna quickly remove this here and do what the instructions by Mr. Bilbo said, which was to pour it directly over the chocolate, the bittersweet chocolate, which, in case I forgot to say that, oh dear, we're fogged up here, folks. In case I forgot to say that. This is, I believe, a 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate. And again, this is for the ganache. So we're gonna let this sit for about 2 minutes, stir it up, then pour it on. What do you guys think of Bilbo's brownie bites? Do you like them? So I may have a bone to pick with Bilbo because I did exactly what he said, and this still turned out very liquidy. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be this liquidy or not, but we'll pour it over the brownies and see what happens, I guess. So I don't think these look so bad, actually. Sorry, Bilbo, for thinking you led me astray, because this actually looks like it's hardening up pretty good. So I will give you the recipe and just do what Bilbo told you to do, because I think it's actually gonna work. So another thing you can do with these little brownie bites, you can put decorations on them, such as nuts or sprinkles. I didn't want to do that. Sprinkles wouldn't ruin it, but in my opinion, nuts would. Be careful with too big of nuts because Baby Frodo might choke on those. And Mischief agrees in the background. But marshmallows might be good. Baby Frodo probably wouldn't choke on those. I don't know what's going on. Kili was supposed to come home last night. She didn't come home, so I'm just gonna go check on the brownies and maybe eat one myself. What's going on? Kili, when did you get home? This is crazy. Hey, last night. But I didn't see you come home.
No.
I thought you were visiting Bard, and then all of a sudden you're here?
Yeah, I got caught up in something in the kitchen last night. I didn't...
Speaking of kitchens, I made you some delicious... What? Who ate all these? Kili, I made you brownies.
Somebody ate all the brownies?
What the? Who would have eaten all the Kili!
What?
Kili, what's all over your face?
Oh my God, what?
Come here.
What is it?
Do you notice the resemblance
What's on
here?
my face?
Brown.
Ow, watch the hair. What's on my face? Seriously.
Brown. Unless either you were rolling in Farmer Maggot's garden of manure, or you ate all of the brownies. And I would like to think it's the second option.
I did. I actually stopped by Farmer Maggot. That's what I was doing last night. I stopped by Farmer Maggot's.
Oh yeah, that's what you always say when you're hanging out with Bard.
I stopped by Farmer Maggot's.
Were they good at least?
Yeah, I really like Bilbo's brownie bites.
Screw you, Kili. Kili.
Shadow, now what? She's angry at me.
Alright, I'm not that mad. Kili, I'm sorry I got mad, but just next time, invite me in on this.
Okay, next time when I get home in the middle of the night, I'll wake you up and we'll pig out on Bilbo's brownie bites together, alright? Deal?
Deal.
Thanks for making it for me, sis.
You're welcome. Get her! 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 Quick!
Got her.
You're a good girl. You know not to jump. Welcome to this episode of Happy Hobbit. So today, Kili is coming home from visiting a dear friend in the Shire. So this episode... I don't know what's going on. Kili was supposed to come home last night. She didn't. I don't know what's going... Wait, redo.
Wait, you should wait like one.
This is scary. I haven't done this in so long. Welcome to this episode of Happy Hobbit. Okay, that sounded really scary. What's happening? Are you guys helping? That's not Kili on the couch. What's wrong? Now he calls these Bilbo's brownie bites because apparently there's something that he used to make for baby Frodo. Because baby Frodo couldn't eat a whole brownie and he might choke and die like his parents. Okay, that was low, probably too soon. They didn't even choke. He just wanted to give his, little Frodo something that he could eat. So these Bilbo brownie bites, I think are gonna be amazing because I trust Bilbo's appetite and I trust Frodo's. And that's Shadow in the background agreeing. So, I will show you what we will need and we'll get started.
How is it? How's your bite?
It is a fake rawhide.
How's your bite?
So, what's going on?